Can we give Captain Seeley another hand, please? Captain Seeley, I'm gonna ask you to stand up. Yes, sir. And then I want to ask the other officers that are in this room, if you guys would please stand up. Can we give them a hand, please? And listen, the reason why I wanted you to stand up, right, guys, because we want to publicly say thank you for your service to our community, right? Thank you for getting up every single day and putting your life on the line. Thank you for getting out in the community to protect and to serve. Now, Captain, I know sometimes in this position it could be a thankless job. And sometimes people just forget in the crises of life to take a time out and say thank you. But we wanted to do that this evening. And as a community, please know and understand that there's a group of people, formerly incarcerated people, that we are committed to making sure that we are praying for you every single day. So we salute you. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you. I think we got time for another Vivid Vision. If you guys would please put your hands together for Mr. Saeed Sanchez Bustamante. And before you sit down, I'm gonna turn this into a TV commercial. And I want you to look right there in the camera because there's 120 men inside Southern Desert Correctional Center that are in there losing their mind right now. Because not too long ago, you were in there and we're streaming live in there. So when you give your Vivid Vision, make sure you do one of these numbers to them and just let them know. But I think that by you giving them a shout out, reading your Vivid Vision, because one day you will be standing up here. Would you please give Saeed a big gigantic hand? Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Congratulations. So, my name is Said Sanchez Bustamante, and today is November 15th, 2025. And this is my vivid vision. It is Saturday, November 15th, 2025, and I am waking up at dark 30, full of energy and with accomplished serenity. I stretch out, look toward my window, awaiting the moment the sunrise will pierce the blue sky on this Saturday morning. I sit and give thanks and meditate, the moment radiating in the now. I sit here knowing that I don't exist to impress the world, but that I exist to live life in a way that will bring joy, love, happiness, and success. And today I have that. I don't ever forget who was there for me when no one else was, and have made astounding relationships with them all. It has been rewarding in paramount proportions. Today I have incarnated into the best apology, a changed behavior. I am enrolled back in college, have a successful management role in my industry, and co facilitate workshops to restore people that continue to be the biggest gift received. We are a tribe that understands that when life gets harder, we challenge ourselves to be stronger. I can now smell the coffee brewing and the unmistakable smell of Cuban coffee beans. Today, I will hang out with my sons, daughters, and loved ones, plan a trip to visit the pyramids, and spend time on sacred ground. It wasn't always this way. I came from a dark place, but my people and I realized how much strength it takes to pull oneself out of a dark mental place and have started over with my circle of great ones. I have started over, this time not from scratch, but from experience and experienced mentors to to whose team I am part of. I live inspired daily and my business plans are unfolding. My portfolio is looking excellent. My home is warm and full of positive energy. This past year, I have turned wounds and errors into wisdom. I have learned that if the people around me don't inspire me, I don't have a circle but a cage. That if I am not for myself, who will be for me? That if I am only for myself, who will be with me? I am living high on life, and I get to share my life and success with family and those around me in a clean, uplifting, successful, inspired way. I now hold the pen in my hand, the pen that when writing the story of my life, I don't let no one else hold. My life is enthusiastic, joyful, passionate, and I'm grateful. I walk over to the mirror often after my meditation, look into it, and know that this mirror doesn't flatter, it exposes, but it exposes greatness, confidence, and prosperity. It reflects back to me that success is what happens when you survive all your mistakes, and that what breaks your heart fixes your vision and it becomes a full, vivid, colorful one. My name is Said Sanchez Bustamante, and today is November 15th, 2024, and this is my vivid vision. See you next year.
So very proud. Can you give Saeed another gigantic round of applause? Going to give a big shout out to our friends out in Southern Desert Correctional Center, Unit 12A. We also want to say hello to the ladies out in Gene Conservation Camp and those who might be watching on the Hope for Prisoners Facebook page, the YouTube channel, and the Hope for Prisoners LinkedIn channel. Thank you guys so much for joining us here tonight. Can we give them a hand? And as we make way for our next speaker, I am so very honored that she took the time to jump on the plane, fly into our state, and be prepared here to speak. And you guys are in for an absolute treat. We're talking about my friend, Miss Christian Lay. Christian Lay is an expert in the world of recovery and breakthrough. She is the CEO of Change Your Story Enterprises, a motivational speaker, author, wellness coach, and the founder of the Change Your Story Workshop. The Change Your Story Workshop is a trailblazing addiction recovery and personal development program. It offers a faith-based, scientifically proven, and holistic approach to breaking free from what is breaking you and discovering how purpose is the key to breakthrough. A dynamic communicator, Kirsten speaks at churches, schools, rehab centers, women's events, media events, and at-risk youth centers, and Hope for Prisoners graduations. I just threw that in there. And she's also inspired audiences on her story on numerous networks and television shows, including CBN, Atlanta Live, Babby's House, Overcomers TV, Uplift TV, Beauties for Ashes, the United Nations, Mega Praise Ministries, 99.5 Heart of God Radio, the Cross TV network, Coffee with Kim, and Inside Voice with Brenda Crouch. So whether it's through her books, speaking engagement, or personal coaching, or the Change Your Story workshop, Kirsten is on a mission to help people embrace their God-given identity and to live life to their highest potential. If you guys please put your hands together for Miss Kirsten Lay.
I was really hoping that I would speak before those vivid visions. The tears started flowing. I am seriously in the midst of greatness right now. It is an honor and a privilege to get to be here tonight with you to celebrate your discipline, your dedication, and your choice to choose to change your story. You know, God is the creator of our story. But by giving us free will, we make a lot of detours. But the great thing about free will is at any point in our journey, we can stop and say, that is not the way my story is going to end. And that is exactly what you are doing right now. You know, Jeremiah 29:11 says that I have plans to prosper you, says the Lord, plans to give you a hope and a future, not to harm you, but to give you hope and a future. Well, about 14 years ago, my life was doing everything but prospering. I had given up on my dreams, myself. I was working crazy hours, but I wasn't working toward anything. And I was drinking, as in 20 to 30 beers a day. Yeah, and I had been for over a decade. it hit me one day that I was living my life like I was in some dress rehearsal for a show I never wanted to be in. I had sat in my setbacks and the regrets and the what ifs and the shame for so long that I was no longer sitting, I was sinking. I had almost died 3 times of alcohol poisoning. No one even knew. I had taken on the role of a victim. I had become my own worst enemy. Now, as crazy as it sounds, somehow deep inside, I knew that I was playing the wrong role because I was meant to be victorious. You were meant to be victorious. So I asked myself, how am I going to get from where I am to where I want to be? Well, let me tell you, it took a lot of God and a lot of work. That story is for another day. But God saved me to use me. He wanted to birth a new type of recovery program through me. And that's the Change Your Story workshop. Like John, I created what I needed. I saw a void in the recovery world and wanted to fill that. Now, in addition, I'm also an author and a screenwriter and an actor. And I want to talk for a second about stories, movies in particular. You all know the 3 main characters that are in every movie. You have your hero, you have your villain, and you have your victim. I want to talk about how they relate to our lives, the role they play in our lives. So think about the characteristics of a hero. They're leaders, they're bold, they fight for causes they believe in. They defend those they love. They don't let obstacles get in the way. They find a way to get the job done. They're ambitious. What about villains? They're leaders. They're ambitious. They defend those they love. They fight for causes they believe in. They don't let obstacles get in their way. And they find a way to get the job done. Another ironic similarity that I discovered is their background. Most of the heroes that you look up to, well, they didn't start out well. They had a rocky beginning. They had setbacks and hardships. They were misunderstood. They didn't fit in. They went through things, sometimes did things that the average person doesn't experience. So we have the hero that didn't start out victorious. They often started out as a victim. And then we have our villain, who obviously didn't start out as a villain. They too started out as a victim. We all go through what I call victim valley. Sometimes it's our own doing, and other times it's because things happen to us that shouldn't have. But no matter how we got there, victim valley, it is lonely, it creates shame, it is isolating, and it is easy to sit and settle and nurse and curse our problems. And before long, we're not just going through victim valley. We've set up camp. We've taken on the starring role, that of a victim. We've embraced a victim mentality. And if we stay there long enough, the anger, the bitterness, it just breeds in us. We become someone we don't want to know. So we have our hero, our villain, and our victim. So they've all been through hardships. So what makes someone? What makes me? What makes you decide they are bigger than the battle, that they're going to be an overcomer? What keeps someone stuck in victim valley? And what turns someone into a villain? It has a lot to do with the way we process pain. We have to deal to heal. And that's what you are learning how to do right now. You are replacing the lies that you've believed about yourself, about the world, with truth. You're experiencing healthy relationships. Science has proven that we can literally rewire our brain, which goes right along with what God has said since the beginning of time. We are transformed by the renewing of our mind. What makes someone a hero is the choices they make. Now, when people used to say, oh, it's just a choice. First of all, they probably didn't say it like that. That's how I perceived it because I was a mess. I couldn't see that choice. When we are involved in wrong relationships, circumstances, when we are battling with drugs and alcohol, we can't see clearly. It's like looking for a house in a really heavy fog. You know, the house is there, but because of the fog, we can't see it. Every class you just took, every program you're going to take, every prayer, every mentor that is speaking life into you, and all the work you're doing, well, that fog is lifting. We have to make the choice to not be a victim. We have to make a choice to be determined to have a better life. We have to be willing to do whatever it takes to eliminate the things in our life that are detrimental to our success, to our sobriety. We have to be mindful and purposeful about how we spend our time, who we spend it with, what do we listen to, who do we listen to. Heroes decide they are bigger than the battle. Now, being a hero isn't about being heroic. It's about getting your life on track with God's plan. You know, I love your vivid visions. I love them. Speak life into your life. Speak life into them. Listen to your conversations, the ones you have with others and the ones you have with yourself, because I know I'm not the only one who does that. Hopefully, listen to them. Do you sound like a hero, someone who's going to be victorious? Or do you sound like a victim or your own worst enemy? You know, Proverbs 18:21 says that life and death are in the power of the tongue. Speak life into your life. Speak it into your health, your relationships, your job, your families. You know, it's not about denying the reality of things. We have stuff, but it is about speaking life into them. The Bible says to call those things forth that aren't as though they are. And when we are changing our story, it is exactly what we have to do. Now, purpose is the key to your breakthrough. And if you don't know your purpose right now, that's okay, because it knows you. It has been fighting for you. It is what has kept you alive. It is what has gotten you here right now. Now, the plan, it can be a little tricky. God 100% has a plan for our life. But we have a tendency to get that God idea, and we know exactly how it's going to turn out. We know what it's going to look like, who's going to be helping us. And when it doesn't turn out exactly like that, we're devastated. I mean, we're confused. We're hurt. And if we're not careful, the enemy will pounce in right then and pounce on your faith. Do not let him in. You tell him to shut up. There is no room for him in your life anymore, or my life, you know? Where am I? We all want results, you know, but being a hero is about doing the right thing over and over again, regardless of the outcome. You know, we have to be more in love with the dream giver than the dream. We have to be more committed to the one who has the plan rather than how that plan is going to work out. You know, now we hear great stories about people going from a hard place to success, and that is awesome. But it's not my story. You know, don't get me wrong. God has done and is doing amazing things through me. I mean, even more than John listed. But there has been so many heartaches and disappointments. I have worked for years on projects that are sitting on the shelves, not at Barnes and Nobles, in my closet. The difference is, no matter what happens, I'm not that roller coaster going on emotions anymore. You know, no matter what happens, I ask God, okay, what could I have done differently? What should I have done? What should I do now? And I continue to move forward. Thanks to John Ponder and the whole team at Hope for Prisoners and all the people he mentioned that are partnering with y'all, you are getting those tools. Each step of faith you take is going to lead you to the next one. It might not look exactly as you visioned it, but as long as you keep taking the steps of faith, as long as you keep praying and believing and doing the work, you will be victorious. You are victorious. Now, that said, if I was in your shoes right now, I would be like so full of hope, totally excited, and a little scared. But I wouldn't have to be. So I'm going to tell you what I would tell myself. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. You are an overcomer by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony. That speak life is serious stuff. With God, all things are possible. With God's strength, you can overcome anything. That is who God says we are. That's who God says you are. No matter where you've been, no matter who you were when you came in those doors years ago, you are a different person now. You've always been strong and courageous and creative. I mean, my goodness, for myself, I've created some pretty amazing stories to get myself out of mess. But what a waste of energy. What a waste of time. Now we can use all our strengths to discover and pursue our purpose. You have been blessed with an amazing opportunity for a fresh start, to be who you truly are, who God created you to be. So go out there and show yourself who you are. It is your time to shine. Thank you so much.
Can we give Kirsten another big hand? Thank you so very, very much. You know, we pride ourselves of going out and get the best of the best of the best of the best trainers with one goal in mind is to help our folks be the absolute best that they can be. We know when we expose them to brand new information, it helps them to go down journeys and live brand new lives. You know, I want to give you an opportunity to meet our lead trainer, Mr. Greg Ketter, who has been with Hope for Prisoners. He's kind of been my A1 since day one, right? He was with us from the beginning. And I think that over the 14 years that we've been doing this, Greg Ketter missed 2 workshops. If you guys would please put your hands together for the lead trainer of Hope for Prisoners, Mr. Greg Ketter.
You know, he whispered in my ear, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. I'm a speaker, John. That's what I do. You know, but I'm not going to take a long time. I actually enjoyed spending the last couple of weeks with you guys. And I missed the last graduation and it pained me. I had to go to the Turks and Caicos Islands and do this job assignment. You know, somebody had to eat that lobster and shrimp out there, right? What all I wanted to say is I'm so proud of you guys and let you know, just remind you, this is not random. Well, first of all, you know, let's do things in proper order. Can all the members of the Hope for Prisoners team, would you guys stand up? These are the guys that made this whole thing happen, and they work hard behind the scenes. Everybody from Hope for Prisoners, stand up, please, and let's give them a shout. We appreciate you very much. And I also want to thank the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Oh, man, I love that part. Because you guys have been with us for a long time. You didn't just come in and do a cameo, get on TV. You came in, you've been with us for over 10 years. And you've been consistent, and we appreciate you very much. Don't we, guys? Yeah, that was kind of, you know. When I tell them during the week, I said, you know, the police are going to come on Thursday. They're like, well, what? But our effort is to help you redefine the way that you perceive law enforcement. And I think we've gone a long way to that. So having said that, this is your crossroad, folks. This is a crossroad. This is a turning point in your life if you decide to embrace it. The rest of your life absolutely will be the best of your life. But sometimes people don't realize behind the scenes, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on. I've never been physically incarcerated. I have been mentally incarcerated. And I'll tell you, it's no fun. There have been times that I can appreciate in your life that you have been put in a position where you were alone. When they finally closed that gate or that door or those bars, you had to figure out, okay, how am I going to survive? Not just live, but survive. And I've heard so many stories, so many heartfelt stories over the last 14, almost 15 years of being with Hope for Prisoners. I appreciate where you've come from. And one thing that really kind of stays on my brain is when someone comes up to me during one of the classes, and it's inevitable this will happen. A young lady came up to me and she said, you know, Mr. Ketter, all this is good and everything, but, you know, what if I fail? You know, I'm not sure I can do this, you know, because everybody's laughing at my goals. And I said, wow, they have no